My mom has always told me to care for the people who truly matter. And I've always tried to follow her advice. Because let's be honest, our mom's always right. And I've always admired the way she keeps her friendships. Strong, meaningful bonds that have lasted her for what feels like a really long time. I truly believed I was doing the same. I thought I was applying her advice in every way I could think of. Because honestly, don't teenagers think they know everything? I thought I had it all figured out, like most teenagers do. But it wasn't until life forced me to take a step back that I realized I hadn't truly understood my mom's advice. Not really. I wasn't listening as much as I thought I was. Life had to make me pause and pay attention before I actually listened. I actually remember when I was younger, time slipping away was the least of my worries. I wasn't even 5 years old, and I already wanted to be 10. Why? Because a 10-year-old got to watch older kids' movies. And I mean, how cool is that? And when I was 10, I wanted to be 15. Why? Because a 15-year-old got a phone. Thing is, now I'm 15, and all I want is to appreciate every moment. But why? What changed? It actually wasn't a big moment. I was just existing in quietness, and it was then that I reached the point where I realized how wrong I had been. I had been taking a part of my life that was extremely important to me, like it was nothing. My relationships, the very foundation of my life, my essence. And I was left with a sense of regret, forcing me to realize. I started to wonder what I was feeling. That weird, nagging sensation that kept unsettling me. And I found out. Did you know there's a thing called the scarcity effect? I didn't. But me, being me, drowning in my desperation, began to understand something much deeper. The scarcity effect. It's a cognitive bias that makes us value things only when they start slipping away. And it made me realize that relationships, though temporary, are among the most valuable things we have. Your shared moments, your laughs, your shared tears, your memories. Those are what stay with you, long after the moment has passed. But really, what is time? We all think we have enough of it, but do we? Time to fix mistakes. Time to say you're sorry. Apologize to one another. Time to say what we should have said, and done what we should have done. He is the reason I'm here. My fourth-legged best friend. And he changed my life. He is Bonaparte. Ironically enough, even though I understood that for many of us, our pets are family, that our pets bring us happiness, companionship, and a sense of purpose, that nothing compares to a joy of coming home to a loyal companion, that they do more than keep us company, and they have been proven to improve our overall health. Still, for the longest time, I treated him like an obligation, a responsibility, something my parents had to constantly remind me to take care of. I always said things like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to feed him. I don't want to take him on a walk. Oh my god, Mom, can't you see I'm busy? Excuses, excuses, and guess what? More excuses. That was my mistake. I reached the point where I realized how wrong I had been. Relationships, not only human, shape who we are, how we feel, and how we walk through life. They are the only things that truly affect us long term. That's what he showed me. Bonaparte wasn't just a pet. He was a relationship I didn't nurture until it was almost too late. Relationships, not only human, shape who we are. Research in attachment theory show that dogs form emotional bonds with humans, built in affection and trust. Our emotional connection with pets can feel just as deep as ones we have with people. That's what he showed me. Bonaparte wasn't just a pet, he was a relationship I didn't nurture until it was almost too late. Relationships shape who we are, how we feel, and how we walk through life. They are the only things that truly affect us long term.
That's what the scarcity effect makes us realize. Just in time for change to happen. Like, have you ever wondered how many moments you've already wasted? How many times you have said, later, tomorrow, but tomorrow never came? Convincing yourself that tomorrow is a better day to start. But it's just an excuse. Like we all tell ourselves to feel safe, to avoid discomfort, to delay the discomfort of becoming who we are, who we're meant to be, and who we're meant to value. Think about it. All those plans sit in the back of our minds, gathering dust. Not because we can't, and sure, not because we're incapable, but because we wait. We hesitate for the right time, for the perfect moment, or even for some kind of sign. Let me tell you something, there is no right time. There is no perfect moment. There is only now. Because life won't wait. But it took years and a harsh situation to get me to realize this, as the uniqueness and value of Bonaparte's companionship, which unfortunately filled me with a sense of regret I still carry with me. Now, I honestly feel like my dog is a part of me, something I failed to fully see until he started getting sick. He began having difficulty walking. Every day, it became a struggle for him to even get up from his bed. And it wasn't because he was lazy, or the bed was cozy. He would try to stand, but his legs would tremble. And I could see the determination in his eyes, mixed with the pain that was taking over his little body. There were moments where he would just stand there, confused, in pain, and disoriented, unable to recognize where he was or what was happening to him. With time, his eyes went out of normal orbit, almost as if they were trying to reach something that was no longer there. His joy, his happiness, his will turned around and encouraged me to play with him, even for a small while. His usual morning barks at the TV show, his excitement when anyone came over to the house, he was always there to greet them with joy, while that vibrant personality that once filled their homes was slowly fading, and neither him nor I could do anything more than stand by helplessly as this disease took a hold of him. Bonaparte reached a point where he could no longer control any part of his body. His movements became erratic, his coordination failed him, and even the simplest actions were beyond his control. I think that was perhaps the hardest part to accept. I felt like I was losing him, bit by bit, and each day brought a new wave of sadness, a new struggle, and a new pain for him. I felt an overwhelming sense of grief, knowing that the dog who had once brought so much joy into my life was now trapped in a body that was failing him, just as I had failed him for so long. But I changed. And no, I didn't change my life overnight. It started with small things. I began sending more thoughtful messages to my friends, spending a few extra minutes talking to my parents, saying, I love you, more often, being more present in every way I could, putting down my phone when I was with people I care about, something I know we all struggle with. Bit by bit, I was learning to be more intentional, and slowly, my relationships started feeling deeper, warmer, and more real. What gets me thinking is that it took my dog being near death for me to make this change in my life. Bonaparte made me realize I needed to do more than just care for others. I needed to truly appreciate the people and moments that make life meaningful. He taught me that presence matters. That time slips away quietly. And it's only when we are forced to confront loss that we realize how little we've truly lived in the present. I think everyone here can agree that it's easy to notice when a phone breaks, when a shirt tears, or when a car stops working. Tangible things are clearly temporary, and we replace them. And while they may have an impact on us, usually what truly holds value is not the object itself. It's the person it reminds us of. But we don't realize that people are temporary too. And those we can't replace. And yet, we act as if relationships are just as replaceable, forgetting how fragile and temporary they actually are. This is where the scarcity effect becomes a threat. It makes us believe we have time until suddenly we don't. Until suddenly it's gone. Bonaparte was always there. Every day he would run to me, tried to get my attention and bring joy to every corner of her home. But if he hadn't gotten sick, nothing would have changed. I would have kept ignoring him, kept finding excuses, kept letting time slip away. One day, after months of hard recovery, I came home from school. I opened the door, and there he was, running toward me with joy in his eyes. His little nails tapping the floor, his eyes full of life, his happiness back. It was like he was trying to say, "Look at me, I'm back." I almost lost him, and for a second there, I thought I actually did. Because he got a second chance, I got a second chance, one that most of us don't usually get. His diagnosis was meningitis, which is a manageable disease, thank goodness. So why do we wait for life to shock us into awareness? Why do we wait for pain to teach us love? Your behavior is not who you are. It's what your brain has learned is right, but what you yourself have thought it. But here's the truth. Neuroscience shows how the brain can change. It can change its habits, its thoughts. It's called neuroplasticity. Since then, I've tried to not take one single moment for granted. I now love taking him on walks, sneaking him into my bed late at night when I know my mom is already asleep, and sharing small moments like playtime and quiet company. Every little thing feels more meaningful now. Every moment. Yes, the awareness that our time together is temporary still hurts, but the same awareness awakens love. Makes me want to give him everything I can, every single day. And even though the scarcity effect is an unconscious bias, I've made it my conscious effort to never let time or an awareness steal the people I love away again. So I ask you, what's holding you back from doing the same? I'm sure many of us here are not stuck. We're just rehearsing the same story. At least I did it. But life is not a rehearsal. You don't get a second draft. I mean, what if you chose differently? What if you trained your brain to see possibility, not reluctance? Change, not fear. That what if, the little, in any case, being affected by this, that what if, the little sentence that holds so much power over us, fueled by the scarcity effect. It consumes us. It holds us back from actually moving forward and taking advantage of our time. It's exhausting, right? But here's the truth. In any case, being affected by the scarcity effect is part of being human, but it doesn't define us. How we respond to it does. It does not have to paralyze us. It can fuel our growth. It can lead to self-discovery, to new habits, new improved bonds. If you use it as a tool, not a burden, let it guide you and not trap you. I want everyone here to close their eyes and think of someone you love, but maybe you take for granted, although it may be hard to accept. Picture this. What if tomorrow they're gone? What would you wish you had said or done? Because one day the clock will stop, and the worst pain won't be the mistakes you made. It will be the moments and relationships you never valued. If there's one thing that haunts us all, it's regret. Not the things we did, but the things we didn't. The words left unsaid, the chances never taken, the dreams and relationships we let die. We wait for the right time, for the perfect moment, for a sign that never comes. We hesitate. But one day, you wake up and realize time didn't wait for us. It moved on, with or without us. And the worst part? It wasn't fear that held us back. It was hesitation, mediocrity. It was the belief that we had more time. But here's the harsh truth. You don't. Every second wasted is a second gone. Every excuse made is an opportunity lost. So let this be your sign, your wake-up call, your moment to decide. Because life won't wait. Because reluctance will never fade. Because regret is far heavier than rejectance ever will be. Don't wait for regret to knock on your door. And I tell all of you something that I hope you will carry with you. In the end, time isn't the problem. Awareness is. Earlier I asked you, what is time? Now I'll leave you with this. Time is whatever we make of it. The real question is, what will you do with yours? Thank you.